So, welcome everyone to the team call. It is Thursday, August 7th, and tonight we are kicking off our Elite series with none other than LeeAnne Ruff, who is the Senior Manager of Training and Development for Beachbody. And so, basically, what she does is she does test groups and develops training for us coaches to succeed and to be better coaches. So that is why I wanted to have her get on and talk with us about what her best tip for us coaches is to succeed. And when I asked her to get on the call, she was super excited to do it, and I am so grateful for her. And she said that her number one tip is recruiting, and that is her best topic. So I am going to give the floor over to LeeAnne. And if you don't have a piece of paper and pen, go get it because you are going to take tons and tons of notes, and I am so excited. So LeeAnne, whenever you are ready.
Well, thank you, Nikki. I was excited because I always love working with leaders who are just super pumped and so awesome. So it was just great, and it's such an honor to be invited to be on this call. You guys are so blessed to have an amazing leader leading you and knowing what to bring you guys for value for your training. So it's my pleasure to be here. Before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about me so you understand where I'm coming from. Yes, I've been with Beachbody for almost 2.5 years, I think now. But I came from the field. I have been in direct sales for over 20 years now. I have built my own business. I had $1 million team. I had, was a top recruiter. I was always hit the top level of sales. I spoke on many different topics at our national conferences, etc. And I did oh dear, someone needs to mute their line. I'm not that bad, am I? I did all this while I raised 4 kids myself, and I see lots of little kids in the pictures here. But yeah, I have 4 kids myself. They're all much older than probably most of your kids, the ones I'm seeing here. My youngest is 16, and I'm actually a grandmother now. I have a 26-year-old who's married with a baby. So I just want you to know when you hear from me, I am telling you things that I have done myself personally, things that I have learned over the years. I have walked in every one of your shoes. I have heard everything that you've heard when you talk to people and you're out there and you're building your business. I've dealt with it all. So I just want you to know that that's where I come from. The other thing I want to be clear about is I'm very real. I call it the way I see it. I don't say things to hurt anyone's feelings, but I do it. I say things from my heart in love, but sometimes it's hard to hear those things. So just know that I'm not mean. I just try to keep it real from my own experience. So it's a pleasure to be able to speak with all of you today. If you haven't noticed yet, I did in the chat section put my Facebook address down there, so go ahead and friend request me at the end. Listen to me first, pay attention first, but then go ahead and send me a friend request, or not. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to talk about recruiting. It is like one of my favorite topics. It's one of the things I get requested for the most to speak to leaders and coaches on. I love it. I love it. How many of you hesitate to say the word recruiting? Let's be honest here. How many of you don't like to say it? Yeah, you're not alone. Most people come into this business and they don't want to say it. I'll share with you a funny story. When I got first started in direct sales, my month, I said to the gal who had sponsored me, I said, I just want to sell. I just want to do the business. I do not want to do that recruiting thing. I am not doing that. And she said, fine, gosh, no, you don't do whatever. You can just do the business. I'm like, good. Let's just be clear on that. And on a Post-it note, which I still have from 20 years ago, I had put on my refrigerator that I wanted to make my car payment. I had, like, at that time, I had 3 little kids that were 6 and under when I first got started. And I wanted to buy a minivan, a Dodge Grand Caravan, a Woody even. I mean, that just tells you how old I am. And my husband said, honey, you can buy any car you want, but you're going to have to figure out how to come up with the car payment. And I was a stay-at-home mom. I was working a couple other little side jobs. You know, I was selling Avon. I had a craft business. I was watching other people's kids. I was doing all these things. And then this business came to me, and I had my goal of just whatever. That car payment was $384, and that was on my little sheet. And I just wanted to make that in a month. And after my first month, I realized I could make my mortgage payment. And I went to the gal who sponsored me, and I said, wow, how do I help other people do this? This is amazing, the opportunity. And bam, I became a recruiter. It wasn't about me. It was about helping other people. So that's what I hope to instill with all of you tonight, as I'm going to just give you my top tips on becoming a successful recruiter. And the first thing you need to do is get over the word recruiting. It is a really great word. You have the power to give people employment and income. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Recruiting in any other industry is embraced. I have my oldest daughter played basketball, and she was recruited by colleges to play basketball. We loved it when recruiters came. You know, you love to be recruited for other jobs. Why is this any different? So the first thing you need to do is get over the word, because that's what it is. You're recruiting someone to join your team. It's an honor to be recruited. If you don't feel that it's an honor to be recruited, then that's the energy you're going to put out to people. So first thing is get over that. Do any of you feel bad that someone recruited you into Beachbody? Then why would someone feel that when you're recruiting them? You don't feel bad. You're here tonight to learn more. So don't put that on someone else. So embrace the word and embrace the power that it gives you. First thing. Okay, here we go. People are attracted to people who have a vision. Do you have a vision? Do you have a vision for who you are? And I mean that in all sincerity. This is a critical step to your advancement in this business and in life. How do you see yourself in a month, by the end of the year, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? You need to be clear on that. And I'm not talking just a vision board. Vision boards are great, but I'm going to ask you all to dial in really deep. I want you to write a letter to yourself, and I want you to date it for the end of this year. And I want that letter to be as if you had walked into your kitchen, and there you are standing there. Who is that person? Where are you in your business? What do you look like? Where are your kids in the picture? And someone needs to mute. I hear background noise, so you just want to mute your line, or if you're on the phone, mute your phone for us so it's not a distraction for everyone. But that vision for yourself it's like my husband and I built a house, and we went to an architect, and we told the architect every stinking thing about that house. And it was hard. We had to say where the light switches were going to go, what kind of light switches they were, what brand of windows, everything. We had to have a clear vision. Now, did that mean it stayed that way for the whole time as we built the house? No. We changed it. Things happened. We moved a window. We put a door in somewhere where we hadn't originally planned for it. But that plan for our house was really clear. We knew exactly what it looked like. That's how clear you need to be about your business and your life. If you walk in the door on December 31st, what does that person look like that's standing there? How many coaches do you have on your team? What are you making every week for your income? What's your rank? How big is your team as a whole? Are you elite qualified? You know, all of those things. Write this letter to yourself and say, hey, Nicole, you had a great year. You are a top coach. You are, write this letter to yourself. That's how clear I want your vision to be. Because people with a vision attract people to them. And recruiting is as much attracting people to you as it is to finding people who are interested in what you have to offer. So you want to be that person that attracts people to you. And people with a vision do that. Think about anyone out in the general public. Think about certain politicians, religious leaders. Why are people attracted to them? Because they have a vision and they're really clear on it. This is I've talked to Lindsay Matway about this before. I've had this conversation with her on this. And one of the things that I think really worked for her was she saw herself successful before she was successful. Do you see yourself successful right now? Is that how you picture yourself? Do you picture yourself walking across stage at Summit as a 2-star, 5-star, whatever? Do you see yourself that way? Doesn't mean that you have to be there now. No one's going to ask you that. No one asked Lindsay how much money she was making 1 year into the business, but she acted like she was a top coach. There's a big difference. Okay? So that's the first thing, is have a vision. Second thing is be able to tell your story. A lot of people get tripped up on this because they don't feel like they have a story, or their story hasn't evolved yet. They don't have a great ending yet. None of that matters. What matters to people is why you are where you are now. That's your story. And I'm going to give you some great questions that will help you develop what your story is. The first one, all you need to be able to know is, what drew you to Beachbody? What attracted you? What made you make the decision to try Shakeology? Something was on your mind, something you wanted out of your life, something made you make that decision that drew you to Beachbody. The second question, what specific things convinced you you'd made the right choice? What specific things convinced you you'd made the right choice? Third thing, what are your goals? Which is a little different than the last question, which is, what do you hope Beachbody will do for you? Your goals are what you want now. What you hope it will do for you is where you see it taking your future. If you can answer those 4 questions, you can define a darn good story. I want to give you an example to how easy it is. So I wrote this one down real quick. I jotted this down to show you how it works. I was drawn to Beachbody because I needed to lose 20 pounds, and a friend had invited me to try the 21-day fix with her. I was convinced I made the right choice because the program was amazing, and the accountability and the support I got led to my success. I now want to help as many people as I can experience the same or similar results with one of our programs, and I can now see how my new business can lead to some financial freedom for my family, and it makes it much easier to pay for the baseball uniforms and the tap shoes I need to buy. Do you see how easy that is? It's just that simple. You all have that story. So that's what you need to be able to craft and what you need to be able to share with people. Is that doable? Give me a high five or a thumbs up. The fourth question was, what someone's asking, what do you hope Beachbody will do for you? So it's where in the example I gave you, if you think about what I just shared, why I was convinced, because the program was amazing, the accountability, blah, blah, blah. The goal is I now want to help as many people as possible get these same great results I got. And what do I hope Beachbody is going to do for me is simply, I now see that I can have some financial freedom with this business. That's what I hope it's going to do for me. It would be great to have this pay for all the extras in my life. and see where it goes from there. That's very relatable to someone when you're talking to them. They want to know about you. They don't care about anything else necessarily about Beachbody. They want to know how it impacts you. Aren't you the same way when you hear other people talk? You don't care about where a product was made or any of that. You care about what it's going to do for you and what it did for that person. That's what sells you on it. So that's what your business is, what you need to do to share your business is share your story. Number 3 on my list of hot tips, it actually might be number 4 because I said to get over the word recruiting. It's number 1. So recruiting is not something you do to someone. It is something you do for them. It's not what you do to someone, it's what you do for them. You need to take yourself out of the equation. When I did that, my business exploded. People came to me. They sensed it. They knew it. I never thought about recruiting as a guest club point or sales in my pocket or a rank advancement. I never thought that way ever. I only thought about the person on the other end. What can I do for you? How is this going to benefit you? What do you need out of this? Let me help you get it. Never thought about myself. If you can make that switch, you will never hesitate to talk to someone about the business. Because why do we hesitate? Because we don't want to be rejected. We can't be rejected if you're trying to help them. If you're not thinking about you, how can you be rejected? No's don't matter to you when you're not thinking about you. You get a no. If you're thinking about them, you feel bad for them. You don't feel bad for you. So you need to make that switch. It's not what you do to someone. It's a gift you give to someone. It's for them. It's really important that you get that. Because if you can make that shift, like I said, let me share with you a story. I used to do my sales meetings, and I'd go around the room, and usually I'd have a question that everyone would answer. And one time, this was a typical question I would ask. I would say, so share one reason why you joined the company. And we went around the room and got around about halfway around the room, and a woman that it was her turn, she said, well, honestly, I only joined because of you. She looked right at me. I only joined because of you. She said, I didn't care what you were selling. I just liked you so much. You were so genuine. I just knew I wanted to be a part of it, whatever it was. Blew me away. Wow. You have that power. When you're genuine and are really out to help people, it doesn't matter what you have to offer. They want to be a part of it. It's all about that vision too, right? It attracts people to you. All right, moving on. Have a list. I operated out of a notebook. You guys have so much more available to you now. You have all kinds of apps on your phones. You have your computer. You have we have the contact list for you. There's all kinds of ways to keep a list. Keep a list. I had a running list of people that I was talking to who I thought would be great at it, and I worked off that list. That's how I pulled people to invite them to any events that I had going, into an opportunity call, any of that. I always had a list that I worked off of, and I was always adding people to the list. I loved having it in my car because if I was out and about, I met a new mom somewhere, whatever, I was chatting with someone, I would go back in my notebook. Is everyone here? Oh, good. Oh, I'm like, whoa, someone's sharing a screen. Not sure why, but I'm not sure here. But anyway, I would keep my list and just keep going back to it and adding to it and crossing people off when they either said no, they are not interested, or they joined my team, or they became a customer. So it's really important that you are continually adding to that and using that as a resource for your business. All right. Ask questions and listen more than you talk. This is really, really critical. You know how I told you how to know how it's important it is to know your story? It's really important to know their story. I am shy by nature. I don't know if any of you follow my like page. I have a page, Reach Higher with LeeAnne. And I shared on there recently how, I'm an introvert. Unless I'm comfortable, I am pretty shy. So I've had to really work hard at overcoming my shyness and learn how to talk to people. And one of the things I've done is to ask people their story. So if I'm in an environment like I'm at a social gathering and there's people there, I will ask, I'll go up to someone and I will say, so how do you know the host? What's your story? And that opens the floodgates, because then you have a genuine interest in what their story is. I see you have, 3 little kids. They're awesome. Are you guys into baseball? Or, whatever it is find out their story with a genuine interest to learn more about them. They'll ask you what your story is, and that's how you find how to meet their needs. Okay? So then listen. Don't be waiting for their response for your next response. Actually listen, get engaged in the conversation. Because if we go back to what I said before about it's all about them, that's all you're focused on is them, and they'll see it. And they'll ask you, what is it that you do? Or they'll say, oh, you look really good, or what's that you're drinking, or whatever, right? It's not as hard as it sounds. And I speak that from truth of being an introvert. It's really not. Once you start learning the techniques to do it, it gets easier and easier. But you have to listen more. And I find one of the biggest pitfalls with recruiting is we try to answer questions that they don't have. Do you ever find yourself doing that? Someone asks you about Shakeology, and then you're like telling them all about it, and it's great for if you're diabetic, and it's great if you're this, and it's great if you're that, and my sister's cousin, it helped with this, and they could care less. But you've totally taken them out of the equation. So you ask them, so what interests you about a healthy shake? Why would you be interested in it? You ask them and listen for their answer. And I'm going to jump ahead a little bit with one of my points about objections that I was going to get to, because one of the biggest objections I always faced, and tell me if this happened to you, was people would always say to me, oh, I don't have the time for that. Do you hear that at all? I could never do what you do. I just don't have the time. I've got kids. I work full time. I don't have the time for doing something else. And so I always ask them, first thing I always would say, how much time do you think it takes? Because people's perception of time is very different. So if I simply ask them a question, how much time do you think it takes? Then I would get the response, well, I'd heard you're pretty up there. You must be working like 60 hours a week, or, like, are you serious? No, I have never worked 60 hours a week with my business. I have 4 kids. I do this business so that I can be a mom to my 4 kids. And so, no, sometimes I work 20 hours a week. Sometimes it's 10, and I even get to go on vacation. And so then it becomes a question, well, how much time do you have? Well, I don't even have 10 hours a week. Let me just tell you, I don't even have that. Like, okay, well, how much time do you think it takes? How much time do you have, rather? And then I get the answer, well, maybe if I have like 2 hours, I would be lucky if I could do that, or, maybe 5, maybe 1 hour a day or something. Well, if I told you that I could help you get started in this business for 5 hours a week, would you want to give it a try then? And so that's along the process of how to ask questions instead of giving them all the information that they could care less about. What do they care about? You have to ask them. Okay. 6 or 7, depending on where you're at. Make the ask. How often do you start talking to people about the business? They're asking you about it. They're like, oh, what's that drink you have? Or I saw you posted this on Facebook. And you say, yeah, I'm a Beachbody coach. And you're like, yeah, I'm a Beachbody coach. Yeah, I have a challenge group. Yeah. And you don't actually ask them if they want to join your team or join your challenge group. But I'm hoping the other points I make will help you get over that. Because if it's not about you, if it's about them, then why wouldn't you make the ask and say, yeah, I'm a Beachbody coach. Do you want to join my team? When would you want to get started? It's really simple. They're only going to say yes or no, right? So just make the ask. Here's an analogy for you. When you go out to dinner, okay, your server comes and takes your order. You get your meal. And at the end of the meal, the server comes over and does what? He or she asks you, would you like dessert or coffee? What are they asking you to do? They're asking you to spend more money. They're asking you to make another purchase. Are you offended? No, you expect it. You expect that level of service. The waiter has something to offer you. You're waiting for the offer. That's what they do. That's their job, right? When you say no, no thank you, we're all set tonight, do you think they go back in the kitchen and start to cry and get all upset because you said no? Absolutely not. That's exactly what this whole transaction should feel like. Not transaction. This whole conversation should feel like for you. If you don't make the ask, you've decided for someone else. Wouldn't you be really annoyed if the server didn't come over and ask you if you wanted coffee and dessert, even though you knew you were going to say no? You expected it. If they didn't deliver that, you would be offended. Like, oh, they're not getting a tip. They didn't even ask if we wanted dessert. It's the same thing. That waiter has made the decision for you. You do not have the right to make the decision for someone else. It doesn't matter if they are a doctor making $1 million a year, or they are a single parent with 3 kids and 2 other jobs. You do not have the right to decide for someone else. Give them that power by asking them, do you want this or not? Do you want to be on my team? I'd love to have you. Love to help you make this work in your life. Do you want to join my team? Simple as that. They're going to say yes or no. Okay, move on to the next person. Okay. Be prepared for any objections. This is a biggie, right? Because everyone's afraid of the objection. So I gave you the one for time. You can use the same thing for money. You know, how much money is that? How much money do you think it takes? Oh, that Shakeology, that's just too expensive. Well, how much do you think it actually is? How much do you think you spend on the extras that you have with your trips to Starbucks and your lunches at work? You know, ask them the questions. How much do you think it would be worth to you? If I told you that this could give you more, it could do for you what it's done for me and give you more energy and feel better and know you're getting a healthy meal when life gets hectic, how much would that be worth to you? Ask them. You know, that's just a real common objection. But one of the ways, and I don't know if you've heard this one before, it's a pretty common way to overcome any objection is, I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but this is what I found. You can handle anything with that approach. Oh, I am just not in shape. I could never be someone's coach. You know, I know how you feel. I started my business feeling the same way, but what I found is people were wanting to do this with me. As simple as that. You can do it with any objection. At least I can't think of one off the top of my head that doesn't work for. And if it's not something you felt before, then all you need to say is, Nikki on my team, she felt the same way. But you know what she found? That she could do this business around her husband's travel schedule or whatever it is, right? Doesn't have to be yours. It can be someone on your team. Or you can simply be honest. You know what? I have never heard that one before. Let me go and ask my team if anyone else has had to overcome that, and let me get back to you. And then go find the answer. People are not going to be offended or think any less of you if you don't know the answer to a question and you want to go back and find it for them. Again, you're just a regular person, and that's what attracts people to you, is you don't have to be the expert. If you think you do, then people don't want to be a part of that, because then they think they have to be an expert too before they become a coach. So don't make it harder than it is. Keep it simple. Just find the answer for someone. They'll appreciate it. Move on from no's. Move on and move up is what I always used to say. Move on and move up. You're going to hear no's more than you hear yeses. I know most of you on here get that already. It's what you do with that. Don't take it on as your own. Don't own the no's. They are what they are. They said no to dessert. No, thank you. Not tonight. That's all it is. It's not no to you. It's no to the offer that you just gave them. Feel bad that they don't see it how you see it, but move on up. Go for the next one. There's another table waiting for you to wait on them and give them that offer. Okay? Just think of that every time it happens to you. You have something to offer. Allow them to make the choice by saying yes or no, but move on. Who is next? Don't dwell on the no's. Even if it's your best friend's sister who is about to be evicted and doesn't have money and you know this would work for her, you can't make someone see what you see. Oh, well. But there's someone out there, guaranteed, who is looking for what you have to offer. Think about it. This industry that we're in, it is a huge industry. There are people every single day out there buying gym memberships, going to the sporting goods stores, buying all kinds of things that we have, that we can offer them. We have people looking for business opportunities every which way. If they're not going to get it from you, they're going to get it from someone else. So why not you? Why not you? Be that person. Be that resource. See yourself as that resource. See yourself as the solution for someone else's problem. And you'll start attracting those people to you. 9, create a recruiting culture on your team. Some of you have teams that you are growing. Some of you may not. But this is a good place to start changing the culture of your team. If it's not about recruiting, it needs to be. How do you do that? By recognizing every single opportunity you have. Anytime someone sponsors someone into your team, you want to call it out. You want to say, awesome, great job. This is so amazing. Not only to the person who is the sponsor, but also the person that they sponsored. You want them to feel part of something bigger than themselves. People want to be a part of something big. Why do you think everyone loves Carl? Carl gets on a call or at Summit, and we feel like we are all part of his mission, and we love it because it's our mission too, and he wraps us all up in that. You want to provide that same feeling for the people on your team who've decided to join you. What an honor it is, no matter how many levels down it is for you, that someone has made the decision to join your team. So recognize it. That's one of the ways that you'll build a culture on your team. The other way is by tracking it, knowing where you are every month, setting goals for recruiting, both personal and your team goals. I had a goal every single month that I would put on the top of my calendar, how many I wanted to sponsor, how many more I wanted on my team as a whole. I had it for every month. I had a goal for 3 months out, 6 months out, a year out. And then I tracked it. So I knew, well, in February was a really good month for recruiting, but man, May was not. So that when the next year came around in May, you can better believe I offered something. I offered more training. I did an incentive or something with my team to make sure that we were consistently growing in our numbers with recruiting. As one person, you can only impact an infinite number of people to help end the trend. But when you sponsor people on your team, your influence grows to infinity, correct? You all get that. So you all came into this business because you wanted to help people. Almost everyone says that. I became a coach, I want to help people. Well, guess what? You're not doing your job if you don't sponsor people into your business, because that's how you truly impact many, many more people and change lives, is you have other people do it with you. So that's the culture that you want to create. You want to talk about it all the time. Recruiting is not a bad word. It is empowering, and it's an honor. Okay. And I'm just going to wrap it up. I've lost track of time here. You are the one in control of your business. No one else is in control of your business. Nikki doesn't control your business. It's not Nikki's fault if you're not sponsoring. You have to look to yourself first. You are in control. You are the CEO of your business. So knock off the excuses, because any single one of you, any kind of body type, any kind of personality, all can be amazing at recruiting and attracting people to your business. Doesn't matter what your background is. Doesn't matter what your college education is, if you have a college education. None of that matters in this business. I hope you see that. The potential is the same for every single one of you on this call. The only barrier is yourself. So get over yourself. Move beyond what those blockers are, and start helping other people become a part of your business, become a part of your team. I think the business opportunity is the best product you have to offer. It truly is. Not only does it change someone's health and fitness, but it changes their whole life, every part of it. It changes their finances. It changes their family. You have the power to do that, but only you can do it. I mean, if you walk away from this call tonight and you file all the information and the tips I've given you and don't do anything with it, that's on you. That's completely on you. And what a waste that would be, because you all can be amazing. I've seen it happen. I've done this for 20 years. I've seen it happen. I saw it happen for me. So I know it can happen for you. Help other people see that. Offer them this business opportunity. And set expectations for what it is and what it can be. Be honest. Because if your intent is to help them to fill a need, whatever that need is, then you will never offend someone. Right? Have you ever heard someone that you know is getting married and you thought you were going to get invited but you didn't? Isn't that it's worse to be on the receiving end when you're expecting an invitation and it doesn't come. It's so much better to include everyone and let them decide if they want what we have. But don't take it personally when they say no. So I wanted to kind of wrap it up. And one of the things I want you to do is kind of along the same lines as what I've just said is I want you all to do a couple things for me. I want you to write down why you are a great coach. Why are you a great coach? Do you know why you're a great coach? Have you thought about it? Have you written it down? What makes you a great coach? I want you to write that down, and you can share it however you want with Nikki. That's one of the things I want you to do off of this call. Because if you don't know why you're a great coach, then other people don't know either. You have to find your lane. My daughter's an actress and a singer, and she's working on her music career right now. And that's what a couple of different managers have said to her is, you need to know the lane you're in. What kind of singer are you? What makes you great? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's the same thing for you. What lane are you in? What kind of coach are you? Who are you? What makes you a great coach to someone else? Know your lane, because when you know your lane, success is going to happen for you. Okay, so that's one thing I want you to do. The next thing I want you to do is, because remember I told you to make a list. I want you to make a list. I want you to get off this call. I don't care how late it is on the East Coast. I want you to make that list. I want you to put 10 new names on that list of people that you have made the mental decision for them that they wouldn't be interested for X, Y, Z reason. And I want you to put them on the list. You've been in the business for 3 years, and you're like, gosh, but I've known them for 3 years. I know everything. And you need to go to them and say, you know what? I'm really sorry, because I have grown my business for 3 years or 3 months or whatever it is. And I never approached you about this. And I'm sorry for not doing that. But I want to tell you, I think you would be great at this. I would love to work with you on my team. I don't know if this is something you're interested in or not, but I just want you to know that I think you'd be great on my team, and I'd love to work with you. That's all you need to do. I'm sorry I didn't say this to you before. I should have. Shame on me. But have you ever thought about doing this? Most people don't think that they can. If you don't invite them, they don't think that they can. They don't think it's an opportunity for them. I can remember when I was in the field, people would say to me when I would say, hey, you want to join my team? And they're like, can I? It always blew me away because it was a no-brainer for me because I'm in the field, so I got it. And they were like, I can? I'm like, yeah, and you can bring a friend too. Here's a tip. I always asked every new recruit, do you have a friend that wants to do it with you? Always. I signed up with a friend. Just want to tell you, signed up with a friend. It was the best thing we ever did because we had the two of us. We were like, what do you do now? What are you going to do today? We had each other, right? And so I learned that lesson early on. Do it with a friend. Bring a friend into the business with you. People don't realize they can when they come on as a coach. They don't understand that part of our business. So anyway, that's a little side tip I just slid in there for you. Got the bonus. So anyway, those two things I want you to do. I want you to share your list with Nikki, text it to her, whatever. Nikki, you can decide, put it on your team page, whatever. And I want you to post in there why you are an awesome, amazing coach. And I think that's going to wrap it up. I think I covered everything I had on my list. But I would love to open it up if you have a question for me. Is that okay, Nikki? Do we have time for that? Okay. So now you get LeeAnne, off the cuff here. What questions do you have? Whether it's about recruiting or something else, if I can answer it, I'm happy to do that. You just have to remember to unmute. And don't forget, if you came on late, go ahead and send me a friend request. I put the link in the chat section. Oh, someone asked, how did I get started? I think I kind of answered that in the beginning. I had 3 little kids, 6 and under. I had a multitude of other little businesses. I was working from home, so I could stay home with 3 little kids. And someone asked me. Thank goodness she asked me. I was like the person you'd never ask, right? I was the busiest person on the planet. I was like crazy I volunteered at church. I was just very involved. My husband's like super involved in everything. And she asked me, do you want to do this? I was like, yeah, let me give it a try. I said, I'll try it for a month. I want to make a car payment, see if I can make a car payment. And then after the first month, like I said, that was it. That was it for me. When I could see how it impacted my life and how I could help my friends' lives as well, I just took off and never looked back. Absolutely love this industry. It is the best way to have flexibility and an amazing income. And, I just want to put it out there. You can, because of the flexibility, you can be an amazing mom, an amazing spouse, an amazing volunteer, all those things. You can fit it all in. I've started with 3 kids. I have 4 kids, and they're all highly successful. And I'm still married, so 27 years. So you can do this. Is it better to try to get them to be a customer or a coach first? Well, there's a couple philosophies around that. I always like to offer the best product first, which I always thought was the business opportunity. They're a lot more likely to say no to that. It's, as you know, it's more intimidating. So then it was, if you're not interested in becoming a coach, I would love to have you give my challenge group a try. Let's get you into a challenge group. Which fitness program do you think would work for you? They're not as inclined to say no to you a second or third time. That's what I found. But the thing is, you have to be really careful in our industry that this is all about our products. Our products are what drive it. They're amazing, right? But if your intent is to help people build the business and help other people get healthy, fit lives, then you're not a recruiting machine just to get numbers and onto your team. So if your intent is in the right place, then so should the flow of your approach to recruiting. Does that help? I hope that helps. Do you have any tips for recruiting more active coaches and discount coaches? That seems to be a challenge for me. It's all in expectations, right? I know some discount coaches end up being amazing top coaches. That is great, but generally that's not the case. So why are you giving up your retail commission so easily? If someone's going to be a great coach, they're going to be a great coach after they're a customer for a month or 2 when they see the potential and they see the transformation. If you are great at customer service, there's absolutely no excuse for really not having them as customers first. Okay, if that's the path of least resistance for you. And I mean that versus discount coaches, because customer service is huge, right? You need to be reaching out to them every month and offering them something. How's Shakeology? Do you want to be in this challenge group? Do you, and the same thing with your discount coaches. You invite them to every opportunity call you have going on. Every challenge you have going on with your team, you always invite them. We're doing this Coach Basics Blitz right now, and Carl posted something on his wall about getting into a Coach Basics Blitz, and there are a bunch of discount coaches who are like, I've been a coach for 3 years just for the discount, and I think I want to do this now. Hello? Why haven't they been this hasn't been offered to them a long time ago? Every single month, you need to go back to your customers and offer them more. Offer them the dessert. Don't put them in a compartment and think that they're not ever going to do anything, because that's not the case. So let me go back to your question, though. Expectations. If you sponsor someone into your business with the expectation that just come in for the discount, that's what you're going to get. If you sponsor someone with the approach of you need a business, why do you need this as a business opportunity? Where do you see yourself in this business? How much money would you like to make with this? Then your expectation is that they're coming in to build a business. So that needs to be your intent when you're talking to them, when you're onboarding them. Personally, that's how I would do it. I would always be really clear on the expectations of what a coach is and what a coach isn't. But to me, asking someone to come in and saying, oh, well, you can do it just for the discount is like, no. I'm sorry. It's just not my philosophy. Told you, I keep it real. You can agree or disagree, but that's how I am. That's a preferred customer. So keep them as a customer. I missed the link to friend request you. I'll put it in again. Any other questions? You can unmute. I can hear you.
I have a question, or actually, I just kind of want you to comment on this. For me personally, my goal every month is to up my recruit from the month before. So say in January, I started at 5. So I'm up to recruiting 10 coaches a month. But what would you say, because I have a wide range of coaches on the call right now, and I tell them 1 a month and then up it 1 a week, however, whatever works for you. What would you say is the best number, I guess, going from, a brand new coach to, some of my coaches on this call right now are pushing for diamond. So what would you say is a good number?
A magic number? Well, if you are recruiting business builders, so they're not discount coaches, right? Discount coaches don't really build your business. You all know that, right? If you're recruiting business builders, and you need to know that probably 1 out of 10 is actually really going to be, is really going to take it to the next level. So run the numbers, reverse engineer it. How many do you need? That's what I always did, was I always looked at, if it's my goal to be a diamond by, October 1st, well, how many coaches do I need? How many emeralds do I need to help, coaches get to emeralds to do this, right? And one of my pet peeves is you're waiting on one person. I just need that one person to get one. We have a problem. If you're waiting on one person, then how are you approaching that? You are like a little stressed, right? You're stressed. You're like, oh, come on. Have you talked to her? It's, did they order their challenge pack or whatever? Wrong. You should have a stream of people you're working with. You should be relying on 3, 4, or 5 people, because I guarantee you, I've done this for 20 years. You rely on that one person and they bag. They don't sign up the night they were supposed to. Their credit card doesn't go through, whatever, and you're like, oh, you're deflated. But if you have 5 people you're working with, if it doesn't work out for 3 of them, it works out for 2. That's where you want to be in your business always. Don't be hanging on a thread of one person, because I guarantee you they feel that loud and clear. They feel that loud and clear from you. And then who is it really about? It's about you and not them. So reverse engineer it, and then set your goal on how many you want to sponsor on your team, and go from there to whether it's, all right, I need to talk to, 10 people a week about my business, invite them to my business to get one, to get me, 4 or 5 for the month. That means, 1 or 2 of those I need to get to emerald, or, that's how you need to approach it. Or at least that's how I would. Does that help you at all? It's really hard to be specific, because it depends on what your goal is, when you want to achieve it. All right, I'm confused with the don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't know what that comment is in relation to.
Well, because you said not to just focus on one person because their credit card might not go through or whatever. You don't want to put everything to just one person, is what I was saying.
Perfect.
That's my motto.
Good. It's a good motto to have. Okay, I'm having a hard time just getting started. I signed my first coach in a week, but I've been stuck since. What advice do you have to get people interested? I've been putting myself out there, and people seem interested, but then it's like they disappear. Okay, so I signed my first coach. To get people interested, I guess I'd go back to some of my tips. Are you asking them questions? Are you finding out what people's needs are? Or are you just sharing about Beachbody and what you're doing? Because there's a really big difference. Don't even talk about Beachbody. Some of our top coaches don't even talk about it, right? It's all about health and fitness. What are your needs? I would go that route. I would start asking more questions than you are sharing about your business. Share after you build a relationship. See if that helps you. Yes, people seem interested, but then it's like they disappear. I don't know, but I would wonder if you're like just giving away too much information, then they don't really need it. They're not interested in what you shared. So I hope that helps.
Can I interrupt with what you just said real fast? Because I have a question.
You sure can. I don't know who that's coming from, but go for it.
Okay, I don't know how to ship. There we go. So I'm a new coach, and I do that so bad. I share too much information because I'm so excited about everything, and I want them to know everything, and I'm afraid that if I don't give it to them, that they're not going to ask and continue, but I do that. I know I do that. I'll like write a message to them, and I'm like, oh my God, I just wrote a book. Look how long that was. So I don't know like how to stop doing that, I guess.
Stop being excited about yourself and be more excited about them. Ask them their story.
Okay.
You're super excited. You're excited. This is great. This is new for you. You love it. You're pumped up. And that's all about you.
All right. Cool.
It's great to be happy and excited.
Right.
But then ask them, right? Stop. Be more excited about them. Like for asking you.
Okay.
You know, and put it all on them. It feels good when people treat you like that.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. How much time does it take to sponsor one person? I've never sponsored anyone. It depends. It really depends on the person. That's very relative, right? It could be someone who you talk to and they say, yeah, sign me up. And you get them signed up that night, or you got the mobile app on your phone or whatever. Or it can be you're having a conversation with someone over a period of months. And, it could be a customer you've had for a year until you sponsor them. That's why it's important to have your list so you can always keep going back to those people and building those relationships. Let's see, what else is on here? Never been able to sign a coach. All of my motivated people are ultra aware of their own time and don't want to make commitment until they are sure they can handle it. I've said the things you suggested, and I know they would be great, but they keep putting it off. Find new people. Find new people. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't keep going back to the people that you think would be great, and obviously they don't think they'll be great. Find people who would think they'd be great. Find new people. I'm able to sell fitness programs, but not Shakeology or a challenge pack. Any advice in that regard? Well, I would to sell fitness programs, but not Shakeology. I would put it back on you and say, well, what's the blocker? What do you think is the blocker? Why aren't you asking people about the nutrition they're putting in their bodies? And I'm not saying that that's what you do, but when things weren't working out for me in my business, I would take a look at is knowing what holds you back is what helps you get better, right? When you can figure out what the blocker is, then you can fix it. This is a big thing with recruiting as well that I needed to get over as well with my perception of it, is I had doubts at first. And you have to really be honest with yourself. What are your doubts about the cost around Shakeology? Do you still have a little bit of doubt in it? And then fix it. Like I remember going to my sponsor and saying, with my hesitations to recruiting and being like, does this business really work? Or is it really for everyone? Like I had those doubts. And when I acknowledged it and I fixed it, boom. So I would ask you to go there first. It's hard for me to answer that for you. And someone posted samples. I don't even offer anything but challenge packs. Yeah, that's a good one too. What are you offering? And
I have an answer for that, or a suggestion.
Yeah, go for it.
I say I feel you'll get your best results if you do the workout program with the Shakeology, and I ask them to try it for 30 days. So I say if you'll try the workout program with the Shakeology for 30 days, you can cancel the Shakeology at any time and present it that way as the challenge pack. And I find that presented as a cohesive unit that I can sell the challenge packs better that way. If they still say no, I'm not going to not sell it to them, but present it as the best case scenario for their results, that it sells better that way.
Great, thank you.
LeeAnne,
Yes.
I have a question. When you're recruiting, do you find that it is beneficial for you to share the money that you're making? Because I am kind of private about it. Like, I don't like to post things like biggest paycheck ever or something like that, because sometimes I don't want to put out there what I'm making yet. Do you think it's beneficial to do that? And if so, is there a better way than just saying, like, I don't want to offend you, or I'm just putting this out there to tell you? Is there a better way to use that information?
Did someone ask you that question?
No, I just see a lot of people posting about it, and I was wondering if you know any success from those posts, if I'm missing something that I should be doing with that.
Okay. I can't speak to the success of those posts, but I can tell you personally, I didn't share it unless it was asked of me. Now, I would creatively craft ways to get people to ask me.
Okay.
So, because I wanted people to know, because people don't think you can make much money doing what we do. But I didn't, I never put that out unless someone asked me a question about it.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can even say, well, do you want to know how much money you can make? Ask them. Do you want to know how much money make it a question to them? Remember,
Okay.
you need to ask more questions than anything else. So, are you interested to know how much money you could make at this? I can tell you what I make.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know how people do with the posts. Facebook wasn't in my world, and I'm just here to share with you. I built $1 million business without social media.
Wow.
So, there are many ways up to the top of a mountain, and the view is the same. Anything else? Oh my goodness, we probably are out of time now, right, Nikki? Any last minute comments? All right, I really want you to do me a favor as well. I gave you the call to action. For that you're going to report back to Nikki, but what I would love for you to do is send me a message and share with me your top 2 takeaways from the call. Okay, tell me what was the most impactful information that you got from this call. And Nikki, thank you so very much for inviting me to be on your team. How awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all the rank advancements and the recruiting culture building on your team. I mean, guys, I can't say it enough. This is just so amazing, the power you have to change people's lives if you just accept it for what it is and be true to who you are. It's limitless. It's limitless. So just go for it. I'm really excited for each and every one of you. I mean, I get a smile on my face just talking about it because I think it's awesome. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be able to talk about something I'm really passionate about.
Thank you for kicking off this amazing series that we're going to have and starting it with recruiting, because that's what it is all about, having people join us in this amazing opportunity that we have. So thank you, LeeAnne, for doing that for us.
You're welcome.
All right. And if anyone has any questions, like LeeAnne said, friend request her, send her messages. She is an open book, just like I am. If you have a question, she'll answer it. She will tell you how it is. She's not going to sugarcoat it for you, but she is there for you. And that is what is amazing about her. Even though she is super busy doing everything else in her life, she is there to help us. So message her, message me, let us know your takeaways from the call and your call to actions. If you're in the Team Resurrection page, post them in there. If you are in the Diamond Push group, post them in there. I cannot wait to listen to all of your call to action. So talk to y'all soon. Have a great week.
I just want to say one more thing.
Yes.
I want to push the Coach Basics Blitz. Coach Basics is my baby. This Blitz is going to be awesome. We have over 4,000, 5,000 coaches already signed up in Coach Basics groups across the country. And there are so many who are posting on Carl's page looking for Coach Basics groups. And it makes me think, why isn't there Emerald or their Diamond asking them to get in a Coach Basics group? Guys, please do this. It can be your own Coach Basics. It doesn't have to be our exact model for one, but we have 45,000 new coaches as of June 1st that came into our business. They all deserve to be trained and onboarded correctly. So please sign up, run a team, run it together, however you want to do it. Just do it, please. It's going to be amazing.
Can you just back me up on this? It is, we run the Coach Basics group and just submit it to Beachbody to let them know that we are running a challenge or a coach camp and this is how many people are in it.
Exactly. You want to register all your new coaches because when they hit Success Club 5 in August, they will get a special t-shirt made just for them. So yes, corporate is not running it. You guys are running them. So please get coaches involved in Coach Basics. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Talk to y'all soon.
Bye, guys.